Hello everyone, I'm back with part 2 of What If Deku Was Bloodsport. Let's begin. Now last time I left off when Deku received a phone call from a strange man saying that he has a job for him. Now, Deku asks, "What's the job?" Then the voice responds, "I want you to kill All Might." Deku is in silence for a few moments and then asks the strange man on the phone, "And how do you suppose I do that? How do I kill the number one hero?" The man says, "It's up to you. You are one of the best mercenary assassins out there, so I trust you can figure something out." Deku then says, "Okay, but you do understand that for a job of such caliber, I'm gonna need a lot of payment." The man then says, Yes, I understand. That is very fair, but fortunately I cannot give you prepayment before the job is completed." Deku then says, "How much are you willing to pay in total?" The man then says, $50 million. Deku then says, "Wow, okay, 50 million. How about 1 million beforehand?" The man says, "You do like to bargain, don't you? Very well. This job is highly important, so I will pay you 1 million before the job." Deku then gave the man his PayPal or whatever, and he received the money. No. Then, okay, he just gave him his unknown, untrackable bank account, and he received $1 million. And when Deku made sure that he received the money, he's like, "Okay, any specifications on the job?" The man then says, "No, just kill him any way you want. Just be sure he's dead." Deku then says, "How will I be able to confirm his death?" The man then says, "That'll be of no need. I will know as soon as All Might dies." Deku then nods to himself, hangs up the phone. He starts packing then. He understands that All Might is an extremely hard target to get, but he knows where All Might is gonna be due to some recent events. But after the Yakuza, he had a little bit of a run-in with All Might, so he actually installed a tracker on him. And Deku then looked at his little tracker phone and saw that All Might is headed towards Hosu City. So that is where Deku is heading now. Deku quickly arrived at Hosu City since he was very close by, unlike All Might. So Deku had about 5 minutes to prepare. Now Deku had a feeling that All Might was not alone. And so, to basically not have any disturbances in the middle of his job, he picked quite a good spot to shoot a special bullet that he created himself. It's a bullet that attacks the nervous system of any. It's basically an organ killer. Basically, if it pierces your heart, you die immediately. Same goes for your lungs. If it pierces your lungs, one of your lungs will stop working, and you will die. So yeah, it's quite a powerful bullet. Now, because you might ask, how did he create that? It's due to his quirk, nanotech. He can create literally anything on a molecular level. I mean, yeah. He could potentially create like portals and stuff, but I'm not gonna go that far. Yeah. So, in 5 minutes, All Might is in sight, and Deku started aiming at All Might when he saw that another person was with All Might, the pro hero Eraserhead. Deku has heard quite a lot about this man, and knows about his quirk to erase other quirks with just a sight. So Deku is quite mindful of that. So he aims his scope at All Might, and we cut to Eraserhead's point of view. Eraserhead is jumping from roof to roof with All Might. They're on a not so secret mission to catch a group of villains who've been wreaking havoc in Hosu City, when in the back of his eye he notices a reflection of light, and Eraserhead immediately knows what this is. He realizes that someone's after them. It's a sniper. So Eraserhead immediately notifies All Might through their little earpiece, saying, "All Might, we got a sniper on us." All Might's like, "Oh, I see. Do you know where the sniper is, Aizawa?" Aizawa's like, "You keep going. I'll go take care of that sniper." All Might's like, "Ha ha ha. Of course, my friend. Good luck." And All Might then starts jumping away at a much faster speed. And Deku realizes that he's been found out, so he, realizes that he has to take the shot quickly before Aizawa comes close to him. And, deep breath in, deep breath out. And Deku then shot the bullet. Boom! It pierced the air. And, it literally just barely missed the middle of All Might's lungs. So basically it pierced the side of his lungs. And All Might just fell down, barely breathing. And Aizawa saw this and was like, "No! All Might! Ah, god damn it. Who is this sniper? I have to catch him quick." And so he breaks through the window where Deku was at. And, Deku was expecting him. But, Deku has never fought Aizawa, so he kind of forgot about Aizawa's quirk. So, Aizawa immediately erased Deku's quirk, and a hand-to-hand fight broke out. And to be honest, they were quite at the same level. And Aizawa for the first time saw Bloodsport in person, and he realizes that Bloodsport must be a kid because he isn't that tall. He isn't as tall as him. Keep in mind, Deku is not short at all. He's not short like in canon. He's tall. But for a 12-year-old kid, he's a bit above average. And so a hand-to-hand combat fight breaks out. Deku is just using his suit for protection since he can't create new guns. And he doesn't have a lot of the detachable ones. But he does have quite a few, but he decides not to use them, which is going to prove to be quite a fatal mistake. And, Aizawa is also quite skilled in hand-to-hand combat, so, punches and kicks are being sent everywhere. Aizawa gets hit in the face a few times, Deku gets gut punched one time, and it's quite impactful, but his suit, absorbs most of the impact. And Aizawa realizes that, he can't really beat Bloodsport in hand-to-hand combat because of that suit. So he just does something Deku did not expect. Aizawa just slapped Deku on the shoulder and then just ran away. And Deku was like, "What? The hell?" He looked at his shoulder and didn't see anything, so he's like, whatever? Okay, I gotta go. I think I didn't really kill All Might, but he's definitely injured. And, Aizawa, he got to All Might and saw that All Might had a wound near his lungs and he was barely breathing. So Aizawa took All Might and immediately rushed him to a hospital. Basically, this landed All Might into the ICU. You might get the reference. Basically, Deku just put All Might into the ICU. ICU. What does ICU say? I think intensive care utility. What? I don't know. But yeah, you might get the reference if you've watched the movie or you've read the comics or something about that. Yeah. Then Deku just walks away, reporting to the man and saying that, fortunately, mission failed. All Might is All Might is very injured, but he's not dead. The man then says, in truth, I did not expect you to kill All Might. I just needed him out of commission for a while. You have succeeded in your mission. Although not fully, you shall receive a payment of $25 million. I appreciate your work, Bloodsport, and I hope we work again together in the future. Deku's like, huh, you mind telling me what your name is? Or should I just call you anonymous customer? The man then says, you can call me. What should All For One give him? Oh shit, I just exposed everything. So the man then says, you can call me All For One. And Deku's like, huh, weird name, but okay. Deku then hangs up and, just relaxes. Now, we cut to 2 days later. And, we cut to Aizawa. Basically, Eraserhead, Midnight, Ectoplasm, Snipe, Endeavor, and Mirko in a meeting. And Aizawa says, before I left to take care of All Might, I put a tracker on Bloodsport. He needs to be caught immediately. He needs to be taken in immediately and placed into Tartarus. He is too dangerous to be left alive. He looks like a kid, and imagine if that kid was able to put All Might into the ICU. Imagine what he could do to all of us. We need to team up, lock him away, and let it rest. Endeavor is like, huh, All Might got defeated by a kid? Pretty pathetic if you ask me. Aizawa says, Endeavor, this is no time for you to be downgrading All Might. We need to catch this man immediately. Midnight then says, yeah, but didn't you say that he has a suit? How will I be effective in this? Aizawa says, we shall devise a plan about that. We need to take him in no matter what. We cut to Deku, just walking through an alleyway, on his way to a job, and, doing his little jobs, just killing people there and then, for hire. And then we see him on a rooftop. That's when a giant fireball comes behind Deku. Deku noticed this and just dodged, saying, who's there? That's when a bunch of ectoplasms appear. Deku does know pro heroes. And so, Ectoplasm, didn't know you have a fire quirk, or are you working with someone? So it's like 100 ectoplasms appear. And Deku just is like, why can't I use my quirk? I see. It's probably that shoulder slap. Now I realize. I was thinking that to be quite weird, but it seems that a tracker was placed on me. And now Eraserhead is here again. And now my quirk is erased. How interesting. But after our last fight, I have quite improved my tactics. So now my quirk isn't even a drawback. That's when Deku just pulls out a pistol out of nowhere, from his suit, from his leg, detachable pistol, and just starts shooting all the ectoplasms. And these bullets are super small, so he can fit like 100 of them. He has a magazine of 200 bullets in a small pistol. That's how small the bullets are. You gotta use the smaller bullets to get the job done, if you know what I mean. And all the ectoplasms quickly fall, and the heroes were not expecting this. So that's when Endeavor appears and starts barraging Deku with a bunch of fire. But Deku reaches for his back and creates a shield which protects him from the flame, and his suit is fireproof, so nothing happens. That's when Mirko appears after the flame stopped and punched the shield, which sent Deku back quite a bit. And Deku just moved his head a bit left and dodged the bullet coming from behind. Deku then looked around and saw Snipe, another pro hero, which he quite admired for his gun skills, and he's like, "Oh, Snipe, I've been wanting to do a little shoot off with you." So that's when he pulls out another pistol, which is a bit bigger, and then it's like the ending scene of Suicide Squad. Oh, by the way, yeah, I forgot to mention a lot of spoilers in here, in this What If Suicide Squad 2 spoilers. So if you don't like spoilers, go watch the movie and come back here to finish the rest of the What If. So like this scene right now is like the ending scene where Bloodsport versus Peacemaker happens, and Snipe and Bloodsport shoot at each other, and it's like the slow-mo scene, and Deku's bullet is smaller, so it like breaks through Snipe's bullet, and but this time it doesn't hit Snipe in the throat, it just hits him like in the back of, in like the top left corner of his forehead, which isn't fatal, it just knocks him out. And it's quite a bad injury. So basically Snipe is out, and that's when Deku notices that there's a crack in his little in his helmet, and he realizes that that's one of the bullets that Snipe shot before. He forgot that Snipe is a dual wielder, so one of the bullets hit Deku in the helmet, causing a crack. And Deku's like, okay, this might be bad against fire. That's when Eraserhead appears, gives him a punch in the gut, and that's when Midnight appears and releases her gas, which gets into Deku's helmet, but it doesn't knock him out immediately. Before it could, Mirko and Ectoplasm appear and try to punch Deku, but Deku just grabs them both by the throat and just slams them into the ground a bunch of times, kicks Mirko in the face, Ectoplasm in the gut. Ectoplasm actually gets sent flying from the building, and Eraserhead has to use his scarf to catch him, and Mirko's just out cold. So basically, Endeavor came behind and just hit Deku in the back of the head, and this unfortunately did knock Deku out. So in conclusion, after the battle, Ectoplasm gets put into the ICU, Snipe gets put into the ICU, and Mirko gets put into the ICU. Endeavor got off with a few scratches, same with Aizawa and Midnight. Deku was placed into Tartarus, and yeah, that's the conclusion of the battle. The heroes were left quite shocked by the ability of this kid, since they did see his face after he fell down, his helmet broke. They saw that it was like a 12-13-year-old kid, so they're just like feeling pretty bad for themselves, since they got beat so badly by a kid who's not even their age, So let's cut to Deku. He wakes up in a cell. So he's like, oh great. Seems I did lose the battle. Oh well. I tried. It was quite a good fight though. But where the hell am I? That's when a guard comes. That's when he hears a voice of a man and says, hey you, stand up, get out of the cell. And Deku's like, fine, no need to be so mean. So Deku stands up, gets out the cell, sees that he's in a prison. And Deku's like, okay, do you mind explaining to me where the hell am I? And that's when a guard in like a military uniform says, you are in Tartarus. Deku says, "For what crime?" The soldier then looks at Deku like a stern face, while Deku just grins and says, You have been locked away in Tartarus for several crimes, including mass murders, some other bunch of crap, and mostly for putting All Might into the ICU. And you know, some of the other prisoners could hear that, and they're like, "What? He put All Might into the ICU? What the hell? That's impossible. He's just a kid." Whatever. It's probably false. And so then the soldier says, "Well, currently it's free time for the prisoners. It's lunchtime for the prisoners. So go enjoy your meal while you can." Deku then says, "Fine." And so he walks into the lunch place, and it's a cafeteria, and he goes grabs some food. It's not the most pleasant food. It's just like the disgusting prison food. It's not like those nice prisons where you get like meals of pasta or like sushi. Hell no, it's like bad food. It's the one you see in like movies about prisoners. Yeah, that type of food. And so he looks around to see a free table, and he sees one not very full. It has some people. So he walks over there and asks a blonde guy about his age with spiky hair and says, "Hey, you mind if I sit here?" And the guy then says, "You a new guy?" Deku says, "Yeah." The guy then says, "Sure, come on, sit." And Deku looks around, sees that beside that blonde-haired kid, there's a girl with brown hair and round facial features and round body features. Another girl about his age with like 1 second. 1 second. My bad. Sorry for that. So he sees another girl his age, with like purplish, pinkish hair. Not too long, not too short, with like purple eyes. And keep in mind, they're in prison, so they're all wearing how do I call it? They're all wearing the orange uniforms. And then Deku looks to the girl with the brown hair he looks to the left of the brown hair girl and sees a man or a guy which looks like a shark man. And so he's like, "Nice to meet you all, I guess." And so, the boy who invited him over and says, "Yeah, nice to meet you. My name's Katsuki Bakugo. What about you?" Deku says, "My name is Izuku Dubois." And the girl with brown hair says, "That's a cool name. My name's Ochako Uraraka." And then the shark man says, "My name is Nanawe," if you get what I mean. And then lastly, the girl with like the pinkish hair says, "My name is Akira Akira Nagant, whatever." And she looks away and then Bakugo asks, "So, why are you in here? What'd you do? You look like a tough guy. What? You fought someone? Killed a villain?" Deku then says, well, I've killed a lot of people, but my most recent crime, apparently I put All Might into the ICU. I was just trying to kill him, not the ICU. I mean, whatever." Everyone looks at him and is like, "What? You did what? You put All Might into the ICU?" And Bakugo says, "How the hell did you do that? Why would you do that? He's the hero. He's the number one hero." And Deku then says, "It was a job." And then Bakugo is like, "A job? So you're a mercenary?" And Deku says, "Yeah. Go by the name of Bloodsport." And Bakugo's like, "You are the Bloodsport? No way. I thought you'd be like older and like have a beard, I don't know. But you're our age. Damn, you're like a legend. And Deku's like, so why are you in here? And Deku then says, well, I got bullied because of my quirk. People thought I was a villain. So I wanted to prove them wrong by killing villains. It's quite a wrong decision, but, you know, I did what I did. You know, I idolized Stain. Deku then says, the hero killer Stain. He's got quite an interesting philosophy. I don't fully agree with it, but it's quite alright. Then he looks at Uraraka and she says, well, you know, you see, my family isn't really in a good position right now. So, you know, I decided to do the worst thing possible and, you know, instead of becoming a hero, since I can only do that when I turn 17 to go to UA college, I decided to rob a few banks, and unfortunately I got caught on my last robbery. And then Deku looks at Nanaue, and Nanaue says, I want friends. And then he just stops talking, and Bakugo then says, from what we know, Nanaue here just wanted some friends, and you know, he wasn't really liked when he was a child. And, you know, he broke into an aquarium. And unfortunately killed a few people on the way. But all he wanted was some friends. So he's really innocent. And Deku says, I can see. And then lastly he looks at Nagant and she says, well, I tried to kill the president of the Hero Safety Commission. And Deku then says, huh, those guys? I received quite a few jobs from them. Seems finally called them out for their corruption. And Nagant says, wait, you knew about that and you didn't do anything? Deku then says, keep in mind, I'm a mercenary for hire. That's all. That's my one and only job. I don't do heroics. I don't do villainy. I do what I'm asked, and I get paid for it. And Deku then says, how old is everyone? I mean, personally, I'm 12. Bakugo then says, I'm 12. Uraraka says, I'm 12. Nagant says, I'm 12. And Nanaue over there is apparently 16. Nobody really knows his age. But he's quite an innocent soul, so, you know, we don't really care. Deku then says, huh, group of young villains. Pretty interesting. And that's when someone grabs Deku by the shoulder. Deku turns around and sees it's a bald dude with a bunch of tattoos. And that's when the man says, hey everyone, look at this, we got a new guy here and he's sitting with the weirdos here, with the little kiddos. What do we say? What do you say we teach him a lesson? Who's the boss here? Shouldn't mess around in other people's business. Deku says, when did I ever mess in your business? And the man says, you took my line when I was getting lunch. Deku says, you looked away, so I just grabbed my lunch and went on. The man says, see, that's not how rules go. That's not how we play by in Tartarus. Here you gotta respect each other. Deku then says, you haven't done anything to earn my respect. From what you're doing right now, you seem to be losing a lot of it. And the man like gets like a vein on his forehead, and you know, cocks his hand back and is about to punch, but that's when Deku just kicks him in the chin and just sends him flying. And you know, there's a moment of silence for a second, and that's when like a fight breaks out. The whole lunchroom just starts punching each other. It doesn't matter if Deku started it, like two random people could be sitting with each other talking to each other, and the next they'd be fighting each other. But mostly people are focused on the group at the table where Deku's at. And so, you know, Bakugo, Deku, and Nanaue decide to team up. You know, well, mostly it was Bakugo and Deku. And Nanaue is like, I want friends. And Deku's like, hey Nanaue, you want to come join us in a fight? And Nanaue is like, fight with friends? And Deku then says, fight for friends, you mean? Nanaue then got like a little smile on his face, says, yay, friends. And that's when he just like started running in and just throwing everyone in different places. And Deku just punching, kicking, like doing some acrobatic stuff, kicking people in the air, just like knocking people out. Bakugo just also fighting quite well even without his quirk, since they do all have quirk canceling bracelets on. And Deku's like fighting. Uraraka is also quite skilled in hand-to-hand combat. And Bakugo actually goes to help her out since they got quite a thing, But, Deku then looks around and sees that Nagan is, getting held by the throat towards, she's getting pushed back against the wall. How do I describe it? She gets pushed against the wall and getting grabbed by the neck by a very muscular, tattooed guy who is, planning to do some very bad things to her. And Deku realized that, and he got this feeling in his chest that he's gotta do something to help, And so he just literally just runs towards the man and just jumps in the air, does a roundhouse kick and just in his face. The man falls, letting Nagant go, and Deku catches her, bride style, puts her down, and this is the moment where it's in these types of movies where there's like the slow-mo scene with Careless Whisper by George Michael playing like the saxophone music, playing like the romantic music is playing, and they're looking at each other like a fling in their eyes, and that's when it all cuts out. They both fall to the ground, and the guards behind them are like, they've all been neutralized. The sleeping bullets worked. Good job, boys. Good work. And yeah, that's the end of part 2. I know the last part was quite confusing. If you didn't get what happened, basically the guards came in to save it, to stop the fight, and with sleeping bullets, and then they shot Deku and Nagan and Nanaue. Well, for Nanaue they had to use like 15 magazines full of rounds, but yeah, they took everyone out. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed part 2. Please don't forget to like, please don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, smash the notification bell, or the other way around. Hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, night, whatever.